Hi everyone, welcome back to Lily of the Valleys. Um, Today I want to share some really simple but powerful way to read the Bible, because honestly it feels very overwhelming, and I know what it means. I have been there. So based on my experience and people that I met, I put together some tips on how to read and how not to read the Bible. So stay with me until the end of the video. Maybe you will find some things that you did yourself, or you know that a friend of yours did as well. So I've learned what works, what doesn't, and I'm still learning myself what are the best way to read the Bible. So have you ever seen people that start reading the Bible randomly? Maybe they just pick up and open the book and they just point at one verse and then they start reading. This is the first mistake that I made a few times. I have to be honest, not many times, but that I keep hearing from the people, and that keep people really far from what the Bible is, or is a very practical book, but is also a book that has to be read in a specific way, or with the method, with the structure. So just don't just pick up verses and out of context and hoping for a quick answer to your problem, because maybe it won't be relevant or it will just be completely random. The Bible is a conversation. It's God talking to us, not a magic trick or something like these books that we, like the fortune book, or the book with 100 answers to the most asked questions and stuff like that. The Bible is very serious book, and it should be taken seriously. So another mistake that I notice is reading just to argue or to prove a point. For example, I remember once a person said that you don't read the Bible just to win a debate. You can of course mention verses or quotes from the Bible to explain and to make a point, but it shouldn't be the main goal while you're reading the Bible. The Bible is your conversation and is your act of love to God, and it's your path to become closer to God, because it's alive. It's not just a mere book on your shelf. That I did it, not intensively, but I did it, and it's something. So basically there are some book of the Old Testament that will discourage you from reading the Old Bible. So I recommend you maybe starting from the New Testament, from the Gospel. And so now we said what not to do, how not to read the Bible. So how should you read it instead? What is recommended? So for the good stuff, here's what helps me read the Bible, but also other people that I know, pastor, priest, anyone that also I follow on social media. I will also share in the comment some really interesting channel that help you to draw closer to God and that I follow in my journey here on YouTube. So tip one, start small. Like seriously, the Bible is a very intense and long book, and it's vivid of images, but it can be a bit tricky in some parts, like the Proverbs and the Leviticus and so on. So try to start small, between 5 to 10 minutes a day. It's way better than trying to cram a whole chapter in one go. Also, this helps you to reflect. This helps you to slow down, meditate, and reflect. What is God trying to tell me? Because if you read a whole book, maybe you might lose or might just skip in your mind important details. So start small, but with focus. Tip number 2, pray first. You can pray like I did. I usually say something like, God, please help me understand your word today. It makes a big difference, your presence, and it will make for your reading journey. So you can also say the Hail Mary, or the any other prayer that you have in mind. But I think just a simple prayer, personal prayer to God, to help you, or please God, guide me in reading this passage and understanding what you're trying to tell me. Tip 3: think about who's writing and trying to visualize or trying to understand, to picture in your mind. For example, with Paul's letter, you can try to picture who is Paul, what he did before, and to understand the whole passage. For example, when I read the gospel, I imagine myself right there with Jesus, or again, if it's Paul writing or Matthew, I try to picture the community is encouraging, but also where it is coming from. Don't get discouraged if you don't get it at all, or if there are some passages of the Bible, especially the Old Testament, that are very hard to grasp. And I would recommend you also buying or borrowing a commentary. I will also doing the same because I want to dive into Revelation and some books of the Bible that I found particularly challenging. So, and I will also make some videos about this, but don't get discouraged if some passages are very hard to comprehend, and especially in the beginning. I also consider myself a beginner, so I can understand you, and I'm just sharing what I think it might help you and what it worked for me. So lastly, apply what you read. So what you read. So if if Jesus talked about forgiveness, think about someone you need to forgive. Think about maybe you have to call your mom to say you're sorry for something, or maybe you have to reconnect with a friend. Maybe you're reading something about joy. So is there anything you can do to bring joy to people around you, or to your partner, to your husband, to your kids? Basically, the Bible is a book, but the Bible is alive, and it's the only way, let's say not the only way, but the most direct way that God want to connect with you and want you to read it. So but without application, of course, it's just like another book. And one thing I want to say, and I will share more about this in another video maybe, and that I hope it will make you reflect, is that there are a lot of stories online and on the news about Bible being saved from disaster, fire, or big dramatic events, natural disaster. And this is no coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I will make a video about this, but I want to close this video with telling you the Bible is not a normal book, and we should approach to this book, to the Bible, in a very serious and not methodical, but in a structured way, in the way that we are really bringing with us, in our day, something like what I should do today, what I read, and what is God trying to tell me. So if you found this helpful, smash that like button, share with a friend, and subscribe for more tips on about how to read the Bible and how to draw closer to God. I really hope to see you soon, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Bye. Stay blessed.